Do you recognize this? Friends buy a new iPhone, you have to buy one too. Colleagues go to the Maldives, you have to go too. Neighbors buy a new car, you have to keep up. This is a psychological trap that the consumer system has carefully designed to drain money from your pocket. The truth is, this race never ends. There's always someone richer, more successful, owning more than you. Warren Buffett, the third richest person in the world, still lives in the house he bought in 1958, drives a Toyota Camry. He understands that true value doesn't lie in what you own, but in what you accumulate. I'm going to tell you straight, to be wealthy, you must change how you view money from the ground up. Poor people's mindset is money is for spending. Work to have money to spend. Focus on income. Rich people's money mindset is completely different. Money is for investing. Money works instead of you. Focus on assets. If you only remember one thing from this video, remember, poor people buy luxuries first. Rich people buy assets first. Let assets buy luxuries. Here's a secret millionaires don't want you to know. They don't need willpower to save because they've automated it. The automatic system works like this. Salary comes in, automatically transfer 20% to investment account, automatically buy ETF stocks monthly, only spend the remaining money. Why is this effective? Because it removes emotion from financial decisions. You don't need to decide to save every month. It happens automatically. The reality is that rich people aren't the ones who spend the least, but the ones who spend the smartest. They understand there are worthwhile expenses and worthless expenses. Worthwhile spending includes education and skills to increase future income, health to reduce medical costs, income-generating assets, and meaningful experiences. Worthless spending includes luxury items to show off, unnecessary gadgets, lifestyle inflation, and instant gratification. Remember this, smart people often skip emergency funds because they think, I can make money anytime. That's a big mistake. Emergency funds aren't just for dealing with unemployment or illness. They're also ammunition, so you can seize investment opportunities when markets crash. During the 2008 crisis, people with emergency funds bought real estate and stocks at cheap prices, while those without had to sell assets to cover living expenses. Now you understand why emergency funds aren't idle money, but strategic weapons. The biggest difference between rich and poor lies in time horizon, how far into the future they think. Poor people think by day, asking, do I have money today? Think by week, asking, do I have enough money this week? Think by month, asking, do I have enough money for rent this month? Rich people think by year, asking, how much did my assets grow this year? Think by decade, asking, where do I want to be in 10 years? Think by generation, asking, what do I leave for my children and grandchildren? That's why rich people are willing to sacrifice short-term enjoyment for long-term financial freedom. An interesting fact, the average billionaire reads 50 books a year. The average person reads less than one. Smart people often think learning ended when they graduated. That's a fatal mistake. In the information age, knowledge becomes obsolete quickly. What you learned in college might be outdated after 5 years. Rich people understand that. Investing in self-education is the investment with the highest ROI. A $400 course could help you increase your salary by $2,000 a year. Listen, if your 5 closest friends are all poor, chances are you'll be poor too. If they're all rich, you're likely to be rich too. Why? Because mindset, habits, opportunities all spread through networks. Poor people's networks talk about movies, news, gossip, have an attitude toward money of money is the root of all evil, and mindset of rich people are all mean. Rich people's networks talk about investment opportunities, market trends, business strategies, have an attitude toward money of money is a tool to create value, and mindset of how to create more value. Don't believe what they say about money doesn't matter. People who say that usually don't have money. Now you understand why high IQ doesn't guarantee wealth. First, cognitive biases make smart people make wrong financial decisions. Second, emotions control decisions more than logic. Third, social pressure and lifestyle inflation destroy the ability to accumulate. Fourth, lack of proper money mindset and financial habits. But the most important thing you need to understand, this isn't a death sentence, it's an opportunity. Understanding money psychology is most important. You could have an IQ of 200, But if you don't understand how your brain reacts to money, you'll forever be a slave to the system. Specific steps you can take right now include auditing your personal finances by writing down all income and expenses from the past 3 months, setting up automation by automatically transferring 20% of salary to investments, building an emergency fund of at least 6 months of living expenses, investing in education by learning about investing and behavioral psychology, and changing your network by connecting with people who have positive money mindsets. If you find this video helpful, please share it to help awaken more people about the importance of financial EQ. Don't let high IQ become an excuse to ignore learning financial intelligence. Being smart but poor is just a waste of talent. Finally, remember, wealth isn't about how much money you make, but about how much money you keep and make it work for you. Take action today, because every day you delay is a day you let inflation steal your assets. Your financial future doesn't depend on IQ, but on the decisions you make from now on. Are you ready to change? Do you know why the people with the highest IQs in college aren't the wealthiest today? Today I'm going to reveal a truth that the education system never teaches you. High IQ doesn't guarantee wealth. Financial EQ does. The story begins with a shocking study. Among people with IQs above 130, only 25% are actually wealthy. Meanwhile, many people with average IQs become millionaires and billionaires. Why is this? The truth that universities don't want you to know is money isn't just mathematics. Money is psychology. Listen, you can solve the most complex calculus equations, but if you don't understand your own psychology when dealing with money, you'll stay poor forever. After reading this, you'll understand why the smartest people often make the dumbest financial decisions. You'll never look at intelligence the same way again. Have you ever wondered why doctors, engineers, professors, the smartest people in society, often lose heavily in investments? Here's the most important thing. Smart people often believe their intelligence will help them beat the market. They think analyzing companies, reading financial reports, understanding economic indicators will guarantee success. The truth is, the market doesn't care what your IQ is. I once met a software engineer earning $12,000 a month, IQ over 140. He spent 6 hours a day researching stocks, building complex valuation models. The result? Lost 80% in 2023. Why? Because he forgot one thing. Markets are driven by the emotions of millions of people, not logic. Meanwhile, the hot dog vendor on the corner, who doesn't know what P ratio means, bought gold consistently for 10 years and is wealthier than the engineer. Now you understand. Overconfidence makes smart people believe they can beat the market. But in reality, 90% of professional investors can't do this. The truth that academia doesn't tell you is too much information can kill your decisions. Smart people tend to analyze everything to the extreme. They read hundreds of pages of reports, compare dozens of metrics, calculate risk down to every percentage point. The result? While they're still analyzing, the opportunity has disappeared. Think about it. While you spend 3 months analyzing whether to buy a house, home prices have increased by $50,000. Overanalysis has cost you the opportunity. That's why many successful people make quick decisions based on intuition, honed through experience, rather than endless analysis. This is one of the most dangerous traps smart people fall into. The story goes like this. You buy a stock at $100. The price drops to $80. Instead of cutting losses, you think, I've already lost 20. I can't sell now. The truth is, that $20 is gone and can't be recovered. The decision now must be based on the future, not the past. But smart people are often blinded by ego. They can't accept that they made a wrong decision. I know someone who held losing stocks for 5 years just because he didn't want to admit his mistake. Meanwhile, if he had cut losses and invested elsewhere, he could have doubled his money. Listen, I'm going to tell you straight a truth that business schools don't teach. 95% of financial decisions are made by emotion, only 5% by logic. You think you bought that new iPhone because it's necessary for work? No, you bought it because you wanted to feel successful, wanted recognition from others. You think you don't invest because the market is risky? No, you don't invest because of fear, because you don't want to lose money. The reality is that wealthy people understand this clearly. They don't try to eliminate emotions, but learn to control and use them. Warren Buffett once said, "Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy." But smart people often do the opposite. Why? When markets crash like in 2008, emotions tell them to panic and sell, while logic says this is an opportunity to buy cheap. But smart people's action is to sell at a loss because they can't handle the psychological pressure. When markets peak like in 2021, emotions make them excited, afraid of missing out, while logic says prices are too high, should wait. But they buy at the top because of FOMO. That's how the system always wins. They know crowd psychology and exploit it perfectly. Do you know why smart people tend to spend more money? Here's the trap. Smart people often have good jobs and high salaries early on. They're used to being rewarded immediately for their intelligence. When they have money, they want to enjoy it right away. Buy expensive cars, travel first class, eat at expensive restaurants. Meanwhile, people with money mindset understand that the money you spend today is money you won't have to invest for the future. $1,000 spent on Starbucks today, after 10 years at 12% annual interest, could become $3,000. The truth society doesn't want you to know is most of what people call success is just a screen hiding poverty. Smart people often fall into this trap the deepest. Why? Because they need to prove their intelligence through lifestyle. The BMW, luxury apartment, Rolex watch, all are evidence of their success. But the reality is, these things don't create assets, they only consume assets. I know a doctor earning $32,000 a month, but had to borrow from the bank to buy a Mercedes. He looks wealthy, but his actual net worth is negative $120,000. Meanwhile, I also know a motorcycle mechanic riding an old Honda, living in a rented room, but has $800,000 in assets from real estate investment. Who is truly wealthy? Listen, this is one of the most dangerous traps smart people fall into. Lifestyle inflation. When salary increases from $4,000 to $8,000, they don't save the extra $4,000. Instead, they upgrade their lifestyle to be worthy of their new income. The financial destruction process goes like this. First, salary increase makes them feel they deserve to enjoy more. Then they upgrade housing from a studio to a luxury apartment, upgrade transportation from motorcycle to car, upgrade lifestyle with more expensive dining and entertainment. The result is income doubles, expenses triple. That's why many high earners still live paycheck to paycheck.